Thokozani tribe. Thokozana bogogo nabomkhulu. Thokoza mkhulu. Bafiki.
Thokozani bogogo nabomkhulu sanibonani.
Sanibonani makhaya. Ninjani. It would be nice to know where the tribe members are from, ne? Mundu ati Thokozani. It'd be great, tribe. Please say Thokoza and let us know where you're from. Because we would love to know. You know where there was a network? Because stage 2 load shedding has started. That's why. Because we tried to come on earlier and then there was just some network disturbances there. Yeah. Okay, baby, you seem far.
No, I'm okay.
Are you okay? Okay. That's fine. Oh, Pumzile is from Pumalanga. Zishiba is from Montana, Pretoria. Amaku from Gqeberha. PE. Did I say it right? Gqeberha. Yes, to me from Alex Gomora, Kaslamakasi. Yes, Hamampiani. Umakos is from Pretoria. Lewis from Beggarsford. Dimpo from Cullinan. Pretoria. We've got somebody from Middlebrag, Pretoria, Manchester, United Kingdom. Amaku Cosmo, yes, Simnige were from our hood in Cosmo, Umlazi, Deben, Hammersdale, KZN, and then
Alex.
Eastern Cape, and then we have Lizzie from Limpopo, Polokwane. Okay, Tos is from Gqeberha. Is it Gqeberha? Did I pronounce? Okay. And then Refula is from Spraidview. Usene is from Dundee, KZN. Oh, Kamakuzintle is from Botswana. Is it Botswana? No, that's not the Botswana flag. Kempton Park, Polokwane. Yes, all the love from Nelspruit. Oh, Bonolo is from Sharpeville. That's incredible. Yes, Tonga Princess from Pretoria Matlanyeng. Rorisang is from Bosbeck. Oh, Rorisang, you are in GP. Okay, that's good to know. And then Mkhulu is from Engogo but lives in Centurion. Okay, Thokoza Pitori. Yes, Steph. Oh, Scotland. Wow, Uzintle is from Scotland.
Thokoza.
Seriti is from Taung. Themba Khumalo Baba Mtunga from Zimbabwe. Yay!
Thokoza.
Abahamba nabomkhulu. Yes. Oh, we thank you, Connie, to say that we are your favorite Sangoma couple. We are somebody's favorite. We're excited. So today we did say from last week's session, yes, to say that we are not going to Kailicha, Cape Town. Wow, good. Richards Bay. Israel. So we've got a lot of GP people, we've got a lot of KZN, we've got a lot of, we now have a lot of Zimbabwean people, yes. We've got Free State coming in, Scotland, another Scotland. So, and then we've got people in the diaspora, Pesheya, UK as well. I also need tissue. My eyes, I had lotion on my hands. So we're doing a Q&A. So you are welcome to do a Q&A with us. So ask us any questions. If you make a request, I need to make a disclaimer. If you make a request, this is going to be saved. So if you don't want to be on our live, do not make a request. And another disclaimer is that Mkhulu and I are coming here to share from our own experiences.
Yeah.
Lived experiences as of course Izangoma or Kobela experiences, as well as people who work with couples. So we're bringing that, and also, my background, of course, in alternative therapy. And Mkhulu knows a lot about indigenous cultural practices. So whatever that we're going to be advising is based from our own experiences and our own knowledge and understanding on African issues, relationship, so we're here to help you navigate relationships, situationships, family ships. So all the ships that we needs to take us somewhere in our life's journey, we are here for it. So please go onto the question mark on the bottom of the Insta, and then just press there and then ask us any question. If we can't answer and we don't know the answer, we will say, all right? Welcome Inefach I hope I pronounce it right, from Namibia. Togoza Lavlu from Mdantsane, but you are in GS. Oh, we've got a lot of Zimbabwean. We've got a lot of love. We need to go to Zim. We need to go. We need to go home. Siyeka umzilikazi wakamashobani. Sizozekhaya. Zim is one of the places that's on, our list. When COVID starts to slow down, we are definitely gonna come to Zim. And when we come to Zim, we'll give you some shout out. And I think maybe when we go to Zim, we gotta do something, because to show some love for our Zimbabwean family, we need to show some love. And I know that there's some people who've also wanted us to come to KZN and say, please come down to Durban and do something with us. Well, invite us and let's do something. And then we'll get our team to organize, as long as you can also organize a gathering of some sort, because we can't just come for one person. We just can't come for one person.
You can just throw a few songs there.
A few songs there.
And sing them in Zim.
Yeah.
Plus, there's Mkhulu Mkhatshwa in Zim. Then I'll just be in touch when we're ready to go there. Because we would love to just go around Ekaya. Africa is our home. We'd love to just go around and give some love and just also have some experiences. Zabantu basekhaya uyabona ukubonisa ukuthi sisonke siyinto yodwa kodwa siyabonga kakhulu ngiyabona nami ukuthi sewaqalile nami ngiyayifunda lento le the technology learning a little bit. I can see now there's a few questions there. We are ready nami ngiyajima
ngiyajima hayi siyabhodla namhlanje ngathi zizobuya. Be nice to have a music session in Zim. Have some mbira players. Oh, that would be so magical for Ndawo, eh? For Ndawo. Spirit will be evoked, spirit will be excited, spirit shall emerge, will hold and host space. So we really would be very excited. And we've got so much energy today because we just got our IV drips at, IV renewal drip in Kaila Mikona, Mkhulu and I. Cover the glow already. Look at the glow.
And I think I'm going to I've got too much energy, then he wants me to.
So let's go straight to the questions. So question is, how do you advise someone who has been trained spiritually from a romantic relationship on how would you advise someone who has been tinted spiritually from a romantic relationship? So my understanding, Anita, is that how can we advise somebody who has been tinted spiritually from being but we don't know how you've been tinted or you've been hurt so please make sure your questions are as explicit as possible, because if they're not clear, we won't be able, because we will be answering something that goes on the other side, because we want to be able to offer guidance that can really speak to you, guidance that
was a good question also.
It was, but we don't know what exactly you're asking. It sounds like a very important question. Please ask us again.
Just as you go into another question to check, and it's just for me to go through this one with you. I think the other thing is for this person to heal. The most important thing, the most important gift that you can give to yourself in life is to heal. It's to heal yourself. Kuzo zonke izinto that you've been through, is to heal yourself, and is to forgive. To forgive labantu laba bakwenze konke lokho, and also to forgive yourself. And the logo healing and forgiving, it allows you to be able to move forward. Most of the time we are held hostage by ourselves, not even other people. Izinto esingakwazanga ukuthi sizihile, izinto esingazokwazanga ukuthi sizikhulume sizitshele labantu laba mhlamba basizwe isihlungu, or the people we think ukuthi we've had to get on it. Is to have those relationships ezingazange zaba ne-conclusion. Iyo into sometimes eyenza ukuthi singakwazi ukumuvela phambili, sizibone being held hostage most of the time. But I think healing, and also getting, especially njengoba uthi is into spirituality, is also to get informed with izinto. Sometimes we are ahead, sometimes things are tinted because of any lack of knowledge with izinto, and sometimes it's because of anything that was available or anybody that was available to be able to assist. but I think is in the manje seziziningi where you can get information and the way you can start your healing. So
thank you. People are commenting on your energy today. You even are speakeringish. It's the IV drip. We just got our IV drip and yeah, IV drip. The vitamins. So the vitamins that came, they came with Mkhashwa speakingish. You know, so it's interesting. People are commenting to say your energy is lively today. Ula. It's the IV drip. It's the IV, you know, it's the IV drip. It's magical, hey? That remember when we got it. I remember the first time Mkhulu did his IV drip. It's when you were so tired all the time. And what for me it does is that it also helps regulate my sleeping patterns, because as umuntu moya, I struggle with insomnia sometimes, because you know those timing sometimes just takes on and you can't you really cannot have proper sleeping patterns. And when we don't sleep well, we can't do good. But this is really much needed, especially that we just came back from Indwa, so very high intense. We're going to another ceremony next week, high intense. And people do ask us, can they come to Mkiti? No.
Yeah,
no.
Regulations, not which as full, we would love to have everybody, but
no, baby, we're not gonna have everybody.
No, we would love to, but restrictions are corner. Yizo izinto ezisasivalela ukuthi nathi fanele sihloniphe imithetho ekuhanjwa ngayo eSouth Africa ukubona sisupporte izinto ezenzakalayo ukuyabona lento, so that we don't take for granted what is happening around here. Then siyaxolisa kakhulu, we would have loved, but I'm sure once everything is done, once everything is open, we would do imgidi izos.
Yeah, but not we'll do in December we're gonna have a music festival. So we're working some magic. So Mkhulu Mkhatshwa will have a music festival, but we're not gonna invite you to our private mkitis, baby. That's not practical, because those are sacred, and you know there are rituals that get performed there, and some of you are gifted. We do not want to jeopardize your processes by having you consume what your spirit is not yet ready for you to consume, because some people's processes you know, you interfere with your process if you want to attend imikiti. Yes, a music and dance session we would organize, but when Sinentwaso, for example, or in Tsugumo, we will not invite the public. Unfortunately, it's private. Those are privy to our close circles, you know, patients who we work with, whom we know they're gifted, because when we ask them to excuse themselves from sacred rituals, they won't feel offended or anything else. But if you're just a stranger, and we might not end up not doing Mkiti, because they're Mkhulu Mkhatshwa, no Babaji doing their thing, and the excitement, and also our own excitement of seeing the people, the tribe that loves us. So unfortunately, those don't even request, let's be honest, don't request for those, but we will open up to other sessions. Like Mkhulu Mkhatshwa just said now that we would love to go to Zim and probably host a music something. And if you want to host us, and you've got the ways to get us there and organize, and you know, DM me, and then I will put in touch with our management team, and we can take it from them. Okay, next question is, oh, let's press it again. How do you deal with isichito where your relationships don't last?
That is also an open question, because kuyahluka ukuthi isichitho esinjani, and most of the time kungcono mengabe uhambile wayohlola kubonakala ukuthi yini lento eyisichitho. Sometimes isichitho esifakwa abantu, sometimes it's not even isichitho, it's because of kunezinto zedlozi kufanele uzenze kuqala ukuze uzokwazi ukuhlala kuma relationships, because sometimes asifuna ukulandelela isiphiwo that we are gifted with, and then kube ngathi ke idlozi kuba nesichitho sedlozi elithi idlozi, go and fulfill what you are called to do, so that you can be able ukuthi ube nama relationships. Then it's one of those things, njengoba ngisho ukuthi it's an open question ukuthi it's so many things that comes to play when it comes to this question ukuthi bheka specifically ukuthi what is it that is a problem, ukuthi ngabe senziwe noma mhlambe yilesi sedlozi ngoba sometimes umuntu ophiwe sometimes kuba nzima ukuthi uhlale kuma relationships and mekuba nzima ukuthi uhlale kuma relationships you need to fulfill what you are called to do before you can be able to hold on a relationship.
That's true. Thank you. And I see people are making requests. Please, if you make a request, you need to know that we're going to save the stream because they are for teaching purposes. And you can request with your partner. You can request with your partner and ask for some relationship guidance or any guidance of some sort. So this is also will give you an experience of what is gonna be cooking in the pot. Like we said, next year in February, we don't have a date yet, but you know, in Feb we're looking into holding a couples retreat where we're gonna take you through experiences, and it's gonna also be retreating within, but retreating together, reflecting together, but rebuilding, because one of our, you know, our core principle as the Ndlanzi family is building strong families. And building strong families also starts with I, but it starts with we before the children. And I laugh at him because he always says to the kids when they becomes a, you know, a tag sometimes or a tussle, like, no, it's my mom, or they say it's my dad. And he always says, but we came together first because we had to come together so that our children can be. Because sometimes that gets neglected in relationships, is that when the children come, then you forget that this also has to be maintained. You forget that this also has to, you know, to be nurtured in order for it to grow. Because if this is not held well together, then how you hold space for the family is going to be compromised. Oh yes, oh, you gifted, please. It's for everyone, even those who are gifted. Please come to the retreat because we're gonna work through some tough stuff, but it's also gonna be healing. It's also gonna be fun. So it's gonna be very exciting. So Miss PS is asking, can your ancestors choose your partner and make a commitment with each other in the spiritual world? Do you want me to start? So I think a lot of times, and you know, Miss P, I'm going to ask you to go on my YouTube channel because I did 3 series on Does Lozi Choose Your Partner? What I believe is that we choose our partners. When I say we, I mean me, my spiritual self, me, my physical self, but me and my people too, right? Because that can be very tricky, because we found in instances that sometimes people are in relationship and then, or in a relationship and they say, but your Lozi wants this person. And they might want this person, and we think we have learned not every partnership that Lozi brings is an intimate, sexual, you know, a lovers, a kind of relationship. It could be that they're bringing a particular partner to contribute to the growth of the work that you are doing. So be very careful about just going with Lozi wants me to be with that person, because if you are also not ready to be with that particular person, the relationship will not succeed, because it's not just about what Amadlozi want, is that what the two of you want? Are you willing to put in the work? And Mkhulu has been teaching us about you need to work for things. Are you willing to put in the work to make the relationship work? Because Lozi partnerships are complex. Because if they put you together, it means there's a particular purpose that you need to serve. And those Lozi partnerships, some of them are seasonal, or they come for a reason, meaning that once that season and reason has been served, they will cease to exist. But certain Lozi partnerships are for a lifetime, and not all Lozi partnerships are intimate or sexual. I think sometimes because the connection with the Lozi partner sometimes becomes so strong, and we got so strongly drawn to each other. And some Lozi relationships is that they're there to reveal the wounds that you have not healed, or they're there to help you be a better version of yourself. But because when we become sexually intimate with people, we lose ourselves in the flesh and in the needs of the body, then we forget the bigger purpose. I don't know if you want to add something about that.
I think you've said it mouthfully. When it comes to our relationships, spirit or wedlozi, in the end, like Ugogo have said, it's not always about we need to be intimate, we need to be alone. I think into ebalulekile yokuqala ukuthi find out for yourself what is it that is this person called to do empilweni yakho. Abanye bazokufundisa something, abanye bazokukhulisa ngenye indlela. And when we rush into being intimate, that's when sometimes isimosha izinto eziningi, where idlozi belikulethela umuntu bekufanele azokukhulisa ngenye indlela, azokukhulisa nizobonisana. Because remember, when we start now being intimate, sihlangana, kuqala kube manje nama responsibilities, kuqala kube manje nama demands abakhona, and then bese sikhohlwa lokhu esihlanganiselwe kona. Kanti mengabe singaqala sibone ukuthi lo muntu njengoba azile alethiwe, abanye yebo bayahamba baphupha abantu athi umuntu ngiyamphupha kuthiwa yini, kanti lo muntu yebo uyamphupha ukuthi kufanele ezokukhulisa ngenye indlela, or uyo umuntu ozokulekelela phekwe simo sakho okuso. Or you could be in a relationship ulibele uphupha umuntu, kanti lo munye umuntu umphupha nje kuthiwa uzokwazi ukunilekelela wena nepartner yakho ukuthi nikhule, or spiritually nikhule, not ukuthi fanele nize niyothandana nibe indoda nomfazi. Uzolekelela wena, uzokhulisa wena, uthunywe idlozi ukuthi hamba uyolekelela labantwana, ngoba sometimes they don't even see a value of each other. Then hamba uyovuselelo, uyoba imvuselelo in that relationship, not ukuthi uyoba umfazi noma uyoba indoda yaloyo muntu loyo. Then ezinye izinto ekufanele uthathe isikhathi sakho uzizwisise ukuthi njengoba ngimphupha kusho ukuthini, then buyela futhi uthi ngiyamphupha lo muntu, ngabe abantu abadala nimletha la kimi uzokwenzani empilweni yami, yini azoyivuselela, yini enimbizele yona, and mhlambe lo muntu ngimphupha mhlambe yimi kufanele ngiyomkhulisa kwizinto zakhe, kufanele ngiyombonisa ezinye izinto, mhlambe kufanele ngiyomlekelela. And sometimes ukuthi uyomlekelela ukuthi mhlambe ayohlanganisa abantu bakubo, mhlambe ayohlanganisa umndeni wakubo, that is why umlonini bakubonisa njengoba umuntu uphupha ugobela wakho, uphupha ini nezinto ezinjalo, ukuthi uyamphupha umuntu ukuthi mhlambe kufanele uyomlekelela ngezinto zakubo, hayi ngokuthi niyothandana.
And be careful that some dreams are saying nkanuko. You know, nkanuko meaning that it's not lust, because sometimes when we are fantasizing about the ideal and the perfect, even if you can dream with, you know, being sexually intimate with someone, it does not mean, because dreams are not always literal, they're figurative. We know from experience, Uguti, we sometimes you step back and you cannot also, as a subject matter, be neutral at an issue that involves you. So it's also good to seek counsel from elders, you know, not only elders in Ebungomeni, but elders in tradition and culture, elders in family, and also have a discerning voice and be willing to listen to a different perspective. Because sometimes when we are also adamant that idloziliti noma idlozilifuna, you know, then we tend to ignore the red flags. Because let me tell you, lozi led relationships are harder than what they seem. They're much more harder because the lessons are higher. Those relationships are harder because the lessons are higher, because the mission is greater. So that's what you need to also understand. We do believe that we were brought together by idlos, but in the midst of that, there was a separation that also was idlos. So the minute you are not willing to step back and introspect and reflect and deeply understand and interrogate what is truly going on with me, who is dreaming, what is going on with my situation, with my life at hand, because sometimes what we think is lost is our own desires, because it's what we're desiring, because I'm in so much pain or I am drowning in my own sorrows. Then I'm seeing Mkhulu Mkhatshwa, and by seeing Mkhulu Mkhatshwa, they are saying the person who's going to help me navigate those challenges is Abantu Baga Mkhatshwa, not Mkhatshwa, this man, not Mkhatshwa ikotwana, but you will end up feeling so strongly drawn. It is not about you. Yazi edlozini imizwa iyamosha, because the minute we become sexual and intimate, we lose the mandate. We lose what is it that we've been brought together, and we start to focus on the needs of the flesh. Then it becomes about the two of you. But you said Lozi brought you, you know. So it's we can have a whole topic about Lozi relationships, but we have learned to say slow it down, be paced, don't rush it, because when you rush it, it will crash very badly. You know, and instant spontaneous connections are also trauma bonding. And this is what I've learned. When you start to have an instant deep, spontaneous connection and you want it now, that's your trauma. It is not love. That's attachment. It is not love. It's because that you seek in the other person, they're probably mirroring a solution, or they're giving you a pacifier with the attention that they're giving you. You know, it's you are being pacified, and it feels like, oh my God, the attention. I know from me, it's like, oh, you are so great, or you are so this, or you, because they do that. It's like, you're so great, you're so brilliant. Because, beloved tribe members, true love is not always good. You don't have to get goosebumps. It doesn't always have to make your blood run and be hot and stuff. True love is willing to put in the work. And true love is understanding, Guti, I cannot dictate what, you know, I cannot dictate and expect from the other without me giving equal contribution. It's hard work, and true love is made by two people. It's got no standard. I think for me, it's got no standards, because the minute you want to standardize it, the minute you want to make it like everybody else, and if it doesn't look or sound or feel like what everybody else is experiencing, you'll continuously feel like those is bringing other people. You'll continuously be attracted to other people, and that attraction is you. I've learned that relationships are mirrors. The things I love about him are the things that probably I'm seeking in myself. The things he loves about me, so are the things we don't like about each other, you know, because I'm like, and Mkhulu is organic and pace and stuff. But we are here to be each other's gift, because there's a time where I need to step back, slow down, and there's a time where there has to be, you know. So it's not a I equal straight lender, but see ruler. Lust gives you a lot of goosebumps. Okay, Gogo, how do you see if Umuntu guy is the one for you? Oh, that is what you need to determine, I think, beloved. You need to say, what is it that you want in a relationship? What are your needs? What does a relationship mean for you? So for me, my understanding is that, you know, the yearning of humans and our human nature is for connection. But what does connection mean for you? Because connection for me and connection for you might be different. It is very difficult for me to say this is, because we like those things, right? We like the ticking of the boxes, and the ticking of the boxes has either led us to the illusion of what the attractive box looks like. We have fallen for illusions because on the outside it looks pretty. And they very, because they come packaged, but out to be you understand what I'm saying? So we also, I think for me, these things of I want this and this and this and this and this. Are you what which you are seeking in the other? Are you willing to give, and do you have? Because no one has come here to complete you, but they've come to complement that already is in you. So relationships is about partnerships. Me and you come with you know, our wholeness to make things complement. We don't come with our emptiness to try complete each other. Ooh, that sounded powerful.
Angiyazi ukuthi balahlekile shema bakithi nabo remane ebotsi yababa but isitsha esihle asidleli bantu nkosi kunjenge khiwane elinye ikhiwane elihle ligcwele ibozi kuyayibona lento
Baby, say that again in Zulu.
Ikhiwane elihle ligcwele ibumu.
Ikhiwane elihle ligcwele ibumu. What's kiwani?
Ikhiwane it's a fruit. Oh, it's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
It's a fruit, and the likhona le ngasekhaya. In
yeah, it's the same thing. It's even with us, it's a fruit.
Yeah. Isitsha esihle si asidle. Ubuhle noma in lezinto lezi ezibukekayo ngesinye isikhathi akusiyizo lezi ezicounter the most. Ngiyabona njengoba ufuna umuntu kufanele uwazi ukuthi wena what is it first that you are offering in a relationship, that you want to offer in a relationship before you can say what is it that I want. Uyabo ungathi wena ufuna umuntu nje but wena you are not complimenting loyo muntu loyo kuyayibona lento le. Nawe fanele uzibheke ukuthi njengoba umuphi umuntu njengoba nginama quality kanje then umuntu mekeza yini into azoyenza ukuthi sibalansane sisobabili kuyayibona lento le. Ungafuna umuntu o independent onjani kodwa wena ube umuntu o dependent okay yabona then kuba inkinga kanjalo then zazi wena ukuthi ungubani once uzazi wena kokuqala ukuthi ungubani kuba lula ukwazi ukuthi kuyini into oyifunayo in a relationship and when you know ukuthi kuyini into oyifunayo in a relationship then whoever that you get and whoever oza kuwe uyakwazi ukubona ukuthi nakhe ngikufunayo noma cha lokho akusikona ngisazoqhubeka ngiyofuna okunye and enye into ekhona ukuthi sisuke sisheshe futhi sizijaje when izinto zingaloni zingasebenzi ukuthi hey kusho ukuthi mhlamba I'm not meant to have a person mhlambe idlozi kanjani kanti sesihamba senzani simosha izinto sesimosha indaba yedlozi kanti yini sometimes ukuthi abanye abantu bayeza kuba nama failed relationships so that when you get the right person you are able to appreciate, you are able to fully love that person, you are able to work in the relationship because you've been in relationships that have never worked. Then in the whatever relationship okuyo, make sure that you learn, you grow, and you participate, because that's the only way you can be able to know when you participate and now okay, I can go as much, and then was my limits then okay, ngifuna umuntu okanje ngizokwazi ukuthi ngiphilisane naye ngoba at the end of the day umuntu ozokwazi ukuphilisana naye ngoba uzothola umuntu oyiyo yonke lento but ungakwazi ukuphilisana naye and kube khona umuntu ongasiyiyo yonke lento but akwazi to hold a space for you ukuthi ukhule ukuthi nikwazi ukubambisana then yizo izinto ezibalekile njengoba ugogasho ukuthi ke akazi ukuthi wena gogo njengoba ubuzisa lo mbuzo umuntu onjani and umuntu ofunani but I think we've given you the insight with how do you now choose the guy or choose a lady to go.
Thank you. Thokoza Mkhulu and Gogo, how can I know for sure Idlozi, late hubby especially, is fine with me moving on? I mean, the thing is that I don't think there's hubby who is late would not want you to find happiness outside of them. I think sometimes we, our fear of and the understanding of Idlozi as the one that's holding a rod and ready to punish because we're being disobedient, it's a very damaging paradigm or a understanding that Idlozi is not there to punish you. Idlozi is not there to make you feel all sorts of things. Idlozi is there to remind you. Idlozi is there to actually allow for your best self to shine. And if what you are going and getting yourself into, it's going to actually be destructive and not allow for your best self to shine, then things happen that Idlozi will prevent or will block. And when those blockages happen, because the human needs sometimes fail to understand the spiritual importance of why the blockages are happening. So I think for me, you need to be able to also understand, Guti, when you are a married person, there is what we call mourning time and rites of passages that one has to go through post the death of a partner. And sometimes we don't respect those things because we like it's the modern times. And this is my understanding, and you will also put into it. My understanding is that the mourning time given, right? I mean, back in the day, it was a year. Some people do it 3 months now, 6 months. But it's so that you can heal, because you are not then you are getting into a relationship as a rebound, because you fully, mourning and grieving allows you to make peace with what is. It allows you to come to a point of acceptance of the loss that you have just experienced. Because when you're married with someone, part of you becomes each other. So you become one with that person. So when that person passes on, a part of you dies. But because the death of you as well is so painful and unbearable, we're seeking bandages, we're seeking soothers, and we think that I want to move on because, you cannot handle being alone, because actually alone is a gift, because you need to redefine who you are post the death of a partner. Because remember, who you have become, it's also connected and associated with the person you've been in relationship. Of course, you still your unique self. don't get me wrong, being in a relationship is not losing your identity, but part of your identity becomes your identity is extended to somebody else when you are in relationship. So when you go through the mourning processes, then you allow for that part of you that identifies with them to also die and subside. But you also perform ama rituals, cleansings, and all of those things, because cleansing processes also help your husband's spirit to detach from you. It knows and understands that I do not have the body. All I can be, it's a watcher. All I can be is facilitate protection and guidance, but not dictate. Because if you don't do ama cleansing rituals post-death of a partner or post-death of a family member, the spirit struggles to detach. You also struggle to detach. So those rituals that we used to perform as Africans, and we still need to perform, they had an element of psychology in it. It's just that we think that there was no psychology. Psychology came with the West. It didn't. When they were saying that when you have just lost, you retreat from the world, that is a process and a journey of healing, because when you're retreating from the world, you are not distracting yourself from the pain. You are given a moment to sit with the pain, because pain teaches us something. Pain being present, it tells a story of a loss, a hurt, a something, a discourse that has occurred. I hope that makes sense. So you will know after you've given yourself enough time to heal that, and you've performed the right kinds of rituals. And the minute you get into a relationship and you're still thinking about your husband, but if my husband did this, then maybe you're not ready, right? You can never forget your husband. That part of them doesn't completely die, but because if you don't heal it, then you'll continue be seeking your husband in other men, and that's very unfair on other people, because then you're wanting a resurrection, and that's what happens. Why sometimes people find it difficult to be in relationship, because they're seeking replicas, and nobody can ever. Oh my God, Ungwakwana is here. Ungwakwana, I can't find you on my phone. I was trying to call her the other day to find out how she's doing. Please send me a WhatsApp after here. I was trying to call you because we were driving to, we were going Limpopo side, and I thought of her. We have Kumbula Nepe.
Okay, before singena kulena, I think just in a little bit, then we'll go there. A little bit to the one, the husband. Njengoba ugogo Rashil ukuthi kubalekile ukuzila. Ukuzila akwenze usually abantu besifazane bacanga ukuthi it was done for bona ukuthi kube ngathi basejele. Bekungasi ukuthi umuntu usejele, bokuhlonipha isimo sokuthi at this moment uzilile, akungabi khona umuntu ozokuhlukumeza noma akukhiphe kule nzilo yakho. It's like you hibernate from kwizinto zomhlaba, ukuyabona uyaqhela. Nabantu mebekubona akusabantu abazokuhlupha ukuthi balibele bashela bayenzani, because bayazi ukuthi you are going through something, and then after you've went through something, that is why ubuthathwa kuthiwa kufanele manje uyogezwa, uyohlanjululwa, not ukuthi ungcolile, not ukuthi, but to allow you to let go of this person that has passed on, ukuthi ukwazi ukundlulisa lokho, ngoba bebazi ukuthi kubhlungu and kuyazwelwa and kunezinto ezenziwayo, and emva kwalokho kwakuthiwa ke kufanele ukuthi kuyokhulunywa naye lo muntu lo obuthandana naye, ayotshela ukuthi njengoba sowadlula emhlabeni, ingane yakwasibanibani yeza la ekhaya izovusa umuzi, kodwa wena ungasekho, sesiyamcelela ke manje ukuthi naye mkhulule ukuthi akwazi ukuqhubeka ngempilo, ngoba wena usungale kwelamathonga. Njengoba usungale kwelamathonga, sicela ukuthi wena ube iziviko sakho, ukuthi noma kuzoba khona umuntu awumlekelele, kube khona umuntu oyokwazi ukuthi aphilisane naye. And yes, siyazi ukuthi kudala kwakukhona isimo sokuthi abantu abadala babefaka ukuthi mhlawumbe abanye bayangenwa, abanye kwenziwani ke bona lento le, ukuthi yebo umakoti akahlale ekhaya ezokhulisa lokho, ngoba bebazi ukuthi mengabe uyothathwa umunye umuntu wakwesinye isibongo ezinye izinto zihamba zibenzima ngokuthi labo bantu kufanele beze la eshadele khona bezocela ubuhlobo obuhle ukuthi la eshadele khona abanikazi balomuzi bayokwazi ukuthi bekhulume nengane yabo ukuthi useyahamba useyogana kwenye indawo. Ingakho ngesinye isikhathi bebazi ukuthi ngoba kuba nama complications kungcono sithi akaqhubeke egane khona la ekhaya egane umunye umuntu, kodwa lezo zinto zazingenzelwa ukuthi abantu bafakwe ejele kwakwenzela ukuthi ukwazi ukuqhubeka ukwazi ukukhuliswa, ngoba ngesinye isikhathi umuntu menabantwana abanye bafike manje mekayoshadela somewhere ukuthola ukuthi ingane seziyahlukumezeka and all that. Those were the things ebezenziwe, kodwa indlela ukuthi kufanele ukuthi nalo muntu osendlulini ukwazi ukuyokhulumisana naye umcele usho ukuthi ngiyacela ngoba mina ngisaphila ngisenemizwa ngicela ukuthi ngiqhubeka, akusho ukuthi ngikukhohliwe, akusho ukuthi ngikulahlile, kodwa ngicela ungialawe ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngempilo nami ngibe nenjabulo njengoba nawe wawungijabulisa empilweni yami ukuthi ngicela ukuqhubeka nami ngibe nayo impilo. Then uwenze njalo akuhambi kube nezihibe noma sokunomunye umuntu, kodwa ezinye izinto eziba stumbling block is because you've also never spoken to the person to let go, because ukuyokhuluma naye nawe yilokho kuzofika ukuthi noma ukhuluma kuyofika isikhathi uyakhala ukhala it's cleansing leyo nto leyo ngokwayo yabo, and nama rituals abalekile so that you cleanse also the energies. Uyayibona le ngithokoza.
Wow, yo baby, that's deep. That's very deep. I've learned a lot. And I think that's why I say tribe members with Mkhulu is knowledge on traditional rituals and why things were done the way that were done. So a lot of people know me to be the one who speaks, but sometimes I also don't know. Even before I go to a show, I ask and ngincela ulwazi lwakho because lujulile ngesiZulu kuthiwa lujulile. Ngithi sengumandla nzivela senami ngikhuluma leso Zulu esijule kakhulu, but kujulile. It's so powerful. I think I find it so profound. Oh, I thought you were asking, can a person choose their own gobel? Well, you know, we're going to speak about what we believe, right? We believe no. We personally believe no. And we're going to say why we believe you can't choose your own gobel. Because remember, the gift chose you as well. The loyal muntu, that gift is entrusted to you by Idlos. So the person who has passed on the gift to you knows how, who, what, ganjani, gupi, nini, nobani. So when you start to take the steps ahead of lelo hlozi, batul hambela pambili hlozi. And this is the metaphor I've been using this week since I've been back, because I've been meeting a lot of people who are gifted and they'll say to me, but Gogo, I'm not shown. And I said, a gift is like when you are carrying a child, right? When you are carrying a child, when a child is born, what gives a child nutrients is milk. It's the mother's milk, and of course bottled milk, which most of the stuff is trying to replicate, you know, natural milk. What happens is that that child has to grow up with certain nutrients that's going to make sure that that child does not get deformed, that child does not get stunted because they're not offered the right kinds of nutrients. Similar to Idlos, if you take it to a spiritual home, because going up Gobela, it's not about the person, but it's about their home. If that lozi becomes birth by a, because any Gobela can birth Idlozi, most can, right? They can birth it, but mega figure at the wrong home, which ngesinguni nesindao empandeni error. It means that that child, which is the gift, will not be nurtured with the right kinds of nutrients. Hence, in this day and age, which is something which was peculiar, Emandu, Uguti idlozi balvalile, ukobela utwebula idlozi lakho. We see it most commonly right now because one of the reasons, not the only reason, one of the reasons is that people go to the wrong homes. So when they go to the wrong homes, that gift which you've been gifted with does not find the right kinds of nutrients. The environment, the principles they live by, impande abayidlayo, agayazi, so it cannot grow. it cannot grow. So when you leave phehlo, then the dlozi is stunted, fails to progress, hence things don't go anyway. They become worse off than they were because it was fed the wrong kinds of things. So for that reason, that's why we believe no. And I know futhi nasesiXhoseni ukuzothiwa ukuthi kaloku because of ingulo you can be shown. Some people it does thrive, but it also is dlozi dependent. Amanye amadlozi are very bathini, are very sensitive and are very picky and very tricky. And even as XhoSeni ngalokhu ngoba ndithwasa isiXhosa, I believe fanele uthonge igqirha lakho, because for me isiXhosa works a lot nesiduko, clan names. So if uhamba uyo initiator in a different clan that does not connect with your clan, kaloku la masiko fanele ukuthi uwayenze, uzowayenza kanjani, because clan and clan amanye ama clans baxhela igusha, amanye ama clans baxhela ibhokwe, yabona. So it's different things. Mkhulu kaloku, they don't eat certain parts of the insides of an animal. Then you go to a different clan name, which is it's a requirement for you to eat the insides. Do you see the endangerment you are putting edlozi? This also teaches you patience and humility and learning how to surrender, because it is a gift. You are just a vessel. So if you don't allow for the ones who are gifting you to direct and guide you, you are actually putting the gift itself and yourself in jeopardy. Remember, if that gift is stunted. Oh, we lost network because it's raining and there's lightning.
Yeah.
So we are back now. So I don't. Please let us know if you can hear us and see us before we continue. Otherwise, we just have to stop this and then do another one. Please, tribe members, kindly let us know. Because of the rain, we had a bit of a network glitch. Yes, okay. Okay, people are back. So, yeah. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, just one thing. I think Gogo explain kahle, and ukuthi abantu abadala abachuza umuntu ozokukhulisa and nawe ukuthi ulandele lokho kusuke kubonisa inhlonipho futhi kulabantu abakunikela umsebenzi ukuthi ngiyolandela konke lokho enikushoyo ngoba inina eningiholayo, ngoba mina ngiphiwe lokhu yini. Then you are saying ukuthi lesiphiwe as much as kwesakho kodwa usiphiwe abantu. Labantu yibo okuyofanele ukuthi abakuhole so that ungakwazi.
Yo, it's the rain. You can't hear. It's poor network. It's raining. Can you hear us? It says network.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
It's blue. I don't think it can hold. Can you hear us? It says your network. I think let's end it and save it. Yes, and then we're gonna connect. Restart, yes.